so hopefully nobody's falling in love with my face.
God damn it.
What? God damn it! Why? God damn it!
Oh,
Nothing.
Hmm? Hey, share with the class.
Oof.
Let's see.
Oh wow, my charger's having a lot of fun with me too. It's kind of doing the like disconnect reconnect thing constantly, which kind of just makes my frames drop for no reason.
Rip.
Let me just force it to always be high performance. You are lying to me. You are not plugged in. Okay, here we go. Get back in there. Just gonna draw one more thing out so I don't have to do it on the fly.
It's looking like it no longer just automatically says in the Discord chat when I'm hosting, so I'll just post that.
Oh, the bot's dead or something?
Either that or I'm just not on the list anymore. Cause
You've been blacklisted.
Yeah, something like that. Well, I screamed like one time before this, and
Apparently it wasn't good enough.
yeah.
They took you off the list. Yeah, we have a screening process at Bityard. If your stream isn't good enough, you're
cut from the team.
Yeah. The coach comes over and says, "Hey, why don't you stand over there in left field?
Damn.
Just hang out for a bit, pick some grass. I don't know. Pick your nose.
Why don't you stand over there by the stands? And you know what? Just go ahead and take a seat. Just watch. It's fine.
Yeah, perfect. You want to cheer the kids on?
Hit grass.
Yeah, and eat grass. Maybe if you eat enough, you'll go to sleep. Did you think I said eat ass?
No.
Oh my.
Okay, good. Because I'm not doing that.
Is it gonna be one of these kind of games?
I mean, it is the fun, the joke one. So, if any of them are going to be like this, then it would be this one.
That's fair.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I'm just doing a little bit of map stuff, and then I'll be ready to go.
No worries. Ooh. Day has pretty dice. I like those. Mine are just boring old metal ones.
Circuit board? Yeah, those are my favorites.
I like the wooden ones a lot.
Fishy, would you like to share with the class again?
What do you
You're
mean?
snickering at everything?
They're giggling.
Obviously, you're passing notes, so bring it to the front. Let me see it.
No.
Come on, let's read it.
Come on, girl.
Okay, what is that about? Tell me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's what about? Did you give me the note?
No.
Okay, well, end of conversation.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, Dad, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you better fucking be. Jesus.
I'm interested to see what all these maps are about.
Me too. It'll be a fun sort of learning experience. Everyone gets together. We kind of crowd fund the whole thing. Sort of a think tank.
Ooh, got Lulu on the board. But Scott and Liam wanted to be all secretive about their characters, so they don't have character hurt yet.
Oops.
It's fine. I just want to know.
And I will do my best not to zoom around the table like I normally do, because I imagine in first person that might get a little bit disorienting on stream.
Oh boy, yeah. I wouldn't be able to host that. Because that's all I do, is just
Yeah.
like play with the camera the whole time.
I love going back and watching Omega's streams because you can just see my hand zipping around the board constantly.
Yep. I mean, I see it happen in the game. So
Yeah.
sometimes I follow you for a minute.
I often go up to other people's cursors and just kind of caress their hands.
Oh.
Nobody ever really seems to say anything about it, though.
I see
well-
Scott is playing with the cursor now,
Yeah. He's just all over the place.
trying it out.
What-
Wait, so Scott, why is your hand robotic?
Because he's a
Because
weirdo.
I'm awesome.
Is my hand also robotic?
No, your
No.
hand's a pencil right now.
Yeah, but like normally.
No. It's like
No. You have
If
to
you-
pass. You have to graduate DM college.
yeah.
Oh really?
hand.
Wow. Yeah, I flunked
Is
that.
that like a bard thing, or
Is that not just like all the DLC stuff?
if
It's
you go
part
to
of
your
it.
if you go to your
It's one of
options,
the
then you
Kickstarter
can change your
rewards.
hands.
Then why don't I have it?
You should have it. It's an option. You just have to turn it on.
Oh.
But don't,
Oh,
because it's
hands.
creepy.
There we go. Wait. Nope, that's different hands. Game. No. Server. No. Oh, it's probably a menu thing.
Yeah, you go to escape and you go to config. I think. Possibly. Honestly, can't remember how I did it. Is it
Interface? Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
I got it. Okay, sweet.
You can
I
also
should
get
have-
the 3D pointer, which looks like the regular hand, but shit.
I should have the cool hand now. Yeah, there we go.
God, it's so
Hands.
creepy.
It's interesting that you're drinking whiskey. I'm also drinking whiskey.
I'm
It
drinking
is-
Well, here we
coffee.
go.
It's the drink of choice.
This stream brought to you
Liam,
by Maxwell
what are you
House.
drinking?
Sponsored.
I'm not drinking anything.
You're not?
He's underage.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
condone that kind of behavior here.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can't
it's not
drink
the
cough
weekend
cough.
yet.
What?
You can't drink cough cough.
What?
Wink wink.
Liam.
Day trying to corrupt the youth as usual.
Yeah. Oh, what the heck, Day?
Whoops.
Yeah, what the darn?
Yeah. Whoa! Hey, now, why don't you take?
Oh
your
heck.
point?
He's getting wild with it, boys. And Day.
Not
Okie
one of
do-
the boys.
I mean, you
Why did
can
I
be if
gotta
you
be
want to.
singled out?
You can be one of the boys if you want. You can be
Alright.
whatever the heck you want.
Aw, heck.
Crack open a cold
Ah,
one, my
heck.
bud. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
Yeah.
darn. I was at a Christmas party last night, and it was the first time that I've ever seen anyone get iced. I thought it was a joke that people, it was like a parody of something that I was
Nope.
seeing online, and I'm like, this is hilarious. And then yesterday I found out it was a real thing. I was like, what? I don't.
Yeah, it's a real thing. You just haven't gone to enough frat parties.
I guess
just
I
college
haven't gone
parties in
to-
general.
I haven't gone to any frat parties. Is the thing.
How many college parties have you been to?
They're all like small house parties, like
Yeah.
10 people.
Oh, that's probably a little too small.
Yeah.
Unless they're like all close friends.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much always just close friends, but none of us find that fun.
Yeah.
You have
Each
to
their own.
actually have friends to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Is that calling me out or calling yourself out?
Damn.
Both, I guess.
Yeah, okay. If it's both, I can live with it.
I mean, we're all here playing D&D on a Wednesday night, so that should be.
But then again, I didn't realize that Wednesday nights were the poppin' night.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
They do call it hump night. So.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Whoa.
there it is.
Oh, racy.
There it
Wow.
is.
Okie dokie. So I am ready to start when y'all are.
Oh, are you finally ready to host D&D 18 minutes after it was supposed to start? That's good.
Oh,
I feel like I'm not the one who's been the latest out of any DM currently in the chat.
That's true. Omega was like 4 hours late once.
No,
We had to
I'm
cancel.
not talking about Omega.
It
I don't
doesn't
know who
count
you
as
could
being
possibly be
late if we
talking
never
about then.
play.
Yeah, who else DMs and is here in this call? Fishy, classic Fishy, always late.
Classic fishy.
Liam
What-
was DMing because Scott was late. Thank you.
Always making tea.
It was
Wow.
goat hands.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Well, as I always say, nobody can be late if the DM's not there.
It's very true. DMs are like
I'd
wizards.
beg to differ. I'm sure you can really be late.
D&D doesn't start until the DM gets there, so you can't be late for it.
No.
Scott, I'm sorry.
Overruled,
matters into
Scott.
our
You're
own
not the DM
hands.
anymore. You don't make the rules.
Yeah, you've
True.
been kicked out.
It's true. I can hand over my notes. Someone could take over.
I can hand over my notes. Probably wouldn't do anybody any good, though. It's just a blank notebook.
That would be fun, running a campaign off of the notes of one of your players. It just it slowly devolves because it's kind of like telephone but with DMing. So you just run a campaign the first time and then you run it the second time off of a player's notes and then another player's notes and just keeps devolving.
That
Oh, boy.
sounds kind of interesting, actually.
I agree. Okay.
Be a nice social experience.
So you all are in Long
Y'all?
City. Y'all are in Long City.
Oh, kitty.
Nestled right up in the continent of Drafnor. Not continent, sorry, the country of Drafnor, which is the northernmost continent on the northernmost country on the continent of Grissom. Well known for its isolation and sort of nomadic culture. Lots of people going around in basically wagon circles. So just travel country. This is one of the few stationary cities. Also happens to be the capital. That's where y'all are now for whatever reason. It is the city of long and cool things. That is their motto. We are the city of long and cool things. And so you have all ended up staying in the outermost section of the city. You see there sort of one gigantic wall around the city, which is currently enveloped in a large sort of lake. Kind of serves as a moat, although it's easy for wagons to get across as long as they've been modified appropriately. There are three walls. There's the sort of outer wall, which contains the whole city. You got the middle wall, which sort of splits the lower income housing and markets from sort of the middle and higher class living situations, museums, churches, all of that good stuff. And then you have sort of the highest living in the last sort of wall, sectioned off from everything. That's where the big wigs live. That's where the castle is. That's where most government functions are held. But y'all are in that sort of first section as you're just staying in various inns, eating at various eateries, and just doing business as you wait for things to sort of cool down. Now, in your time waiting for all this to pan out and happen, all of you were sort of recommended by a restaurateur or your bartender at another inn or someone on the street. People have told you the place to go for the best ale and the best food for the fewest amount of coins is Bunky's Hideout, which has recently sort of picked up popularity amongst both eaters and drinkers. And so that's where you headed, deciding to take the advice of the Drafnor locals. That is where you have ended up. Let's go one by one. As let's go with Day first. You sort of saunter in to this cramped little bar. You see not too many people hanging out in this bar, but those who have sort of joined the fray are seemingly a little uncomfortable. It seems like a lot of booths have been added in recently to accommodate sort of influx in customers, probably because everyone's being recommended to head over here. You see on the other sort of side of that little bar table, I guess, the bartender, who is a sort of stout-looking dwarven fella with rather long beard, white hair. His beard is a little more gray, but despite his old looks, he seems quite strong and is quickly handling orders. You see several open booths as well as two larger tables, which are closer to the center of the bar. Bartender kind of catches your eyes and beckons for you to come over. It seems like if you want something, you're going to have to go and ask him for it.
Alright. I approach him and give him a little wink. I heard this was the place to be.
Well, it sure seems like it.
Do you think I could perform a little bit of music?
Well, that's up to the patrons. I won't be paying you any, but if they fancy flipping a coin at you, I won't mind.
Very well. Where do you think I should set up?
Give me a moment. As he kind of steps down from a stool and starts walking over to the end of the bar so that he can sort of get out of his little area. He sort of single-handedly picks up one of these large wooden tables, and you see him start rolling it over, and he kind of just throws it into the corner, and he says, if you don't mind performing in the center over there, you're more than welcome to.
Merci, monsieur.
Of course. Is there anything you'd like in the meantime? Some snacks? Some brew?
Water is fine. Thank you.
Water, huh?
Oui.
And he goes over and sort of seemingly ends up at this bucket, which is full of water, and he just takes a glass, he scoops it up, and he puts it on the end of the counter and says, "It's here when you want it."
I nod and I go up to the little table and I start strumming a little tune that probably sounds unfamiliar to most of the patrons with my trident lyre.
Would you like to roll a performance check?
I sure can. Oh boy. Let me see what I had. Maybe it's okay. Oh man.
Oops.
14.
A 14 total.
I have
Okay,
expertise and performance. Thank you.
gotcha. So you're playing, and it's nowhere near as good as you normally. Or it's not really up to your classic standard. You are used to playing much better, and maybe it's the new environment or the sort of interesting situation you've been placed in, but you start going sort of a little flat at some points. The tuning is getting a little off. However, you think that you, at the very least, put on a rather decent performance, and it seems like the patrons agree with you. There are a few who are a little off-put by the style of music. They're not used to it, and they're not really ready to hear it, and so some are kind of plugging their ears or making louder conversation. But there are some patrons who enjoy it, and they're sort of nodding their heads along with it. They're sort of getting into it, and as you finish sort of the second or third song, those who started to really appreciate it more give you more vocalized compliments or approval of what you're doing. And while this is going on, we have another two enter the bar. I assume that Scott and Fishy would like to be introduced at the same time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you want us to just describe ourselves first, or?
We can, yeah, sure.
Go ahead. Scott.
Yeah. I'll probably be in front anyway. So, kind of light brown robes. I have a staff that's kind of a twisted branch of dogwood, and it has a metal strap wrapped around it to form like a handle. And sort of sandy brown hair, kind of big teeth, freckles. Pale blue eyes. Liam, you want to describe your character?
Around the same kind of brown robes, tighter though to the skin, with some like pieces hanging off. I have some things hanging off my waist, like a book. I have some trinkets, some glowing things. I have a staff that's a little bit more crude than the other Derp Scots. It has like feathers and like rope and stuff hanging off the top of the crystal. It's kind of like, I don't know, just rougher. Same, around same colored hair, bit lighter though, freckles. A little bit bigger ears than I should have. And vibrant.
Yeah,
But-
I'm in like my mid-30s.
Okay.
Yeah, we're around the same age.
What races are you guys?
Human.
Okay.
Vibrant bluish green eyes, blue-green-ish. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like dazed eye kind of. And that's me.
Okay. So the two of you sort of walk in, and since Lulu arrived, it seems like more patrons have started to pour in. Lulu isn't quite sure whether or not they've come in because they've heard the music, or there really just is a craze going on right now at this particular bar. But the seats are starting to pack up, and there are only a few tables left. I assume the two of you see a table and start to walk over when you end up making eye contact with that dwarven bartender who kind of motions for you to get closer, especially as the tavern is so loud. And he kind of barks out, if you want anything, you gotta order it here. Not coming by the tables. Too crowded.
Okay. Well, I'll take an ale then.
Very well. And he kind of looks over at Abner. And you?
Well, I have an ale and a loaf of bread. You got bread?
I got bread.
I have some bread.
Yeah, why don't you get some cheese too?
Ooh, I had some cheese.
Yeah,
I
you're
also
paying
got
for it,
cheese. And he says, so 2 ales, some bread, and some cheese.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, the man, boy.
and he sort of turns around and starts gathering everything.
I go pay him.
He puts down the 2 ales and he brings out a basket of sliced bread and some cheese, and he says, that'll be 1 silver.
Here you go.
Says, perfect. And he takes the 1 silver and he sort of pockets it and says, enjoy. If you need anything more, come over here. I'll get you some.
This is right good service up in here. This establishment.
Mighty nice. Little crap
So
as well.
I assume the 2 of you end up sitting at one of these tables.
Yeah.
So you find yourselves sort of cramped up together in a booth. It seems like they've recently kind of added and moved around a lot of the furniture so that they can make more room. So it's not the most comfortable, but you're able to make do with the table you're at. And last but not least, another patron enters the door.
Alrighty. Well, I look about like what my figurine looks like, so no real need for a physical description. I'm gonna take a look around the room and then immediately go and approach the bar. Could I just get a flagon of ale, please, sir?
He sort of turns around because he was cleaning out some glasses, and he looks up at you, sort of hops up on a stool, which he sort of needs to look over the counter, and he goes, "What? Music's playing too loudly. You gotta speak up, son."
Could I have a flagon of ale, please, sir?
Sorry. And he kind of gets closer over the counter and puts his ear closer to you.
I'm gonna like hand him a gold coin and just say, "I need a drink, please."
So you want the half a barrel?
Just a glass will do.
Okay. And he takes the coin and he kind of looks at you. and he sort of puts it under the counter and goes and grabs you a flagon of ale and kind of slaps it down and says, "Let me know when you want to close out the tab."
No problem. And I'll take my drink and head over to the back corner.
Okay. And as you do so, more people start to fill in. So now all of the tables are full except for a single one.
Alrighty.
Lulu, you continue to sort of get increased appreciation from the audience and the patrons who are here in the bar until one of the patrons who had been sort of plugging his ears sort of comes over and taps you on the shoulder after you finish what I can only guess is your 7th or 8th song. And he sort of says, "Sorry, miss, I simply cannot, how do I say this in, I can't stand the music. I'm sorry. It's, I've been born on classical tradition. I can't deal with the way that you're butchering this. It's just not Drafnorian music."
How rude.
That is very rude, sir.
"I'm sorry, miss, but you just have to realize you're in Drafnor. Tradition is big here. We play, just the classic blues.
Oh,
That's it.
What is wrong with something new?
Everything. You think that Drafnor has become so prosperous and successful because we let everyone in? That's the opposite. We don't let anyone in. We've become great because we've isolated ourselves. And our culture has become great because we've had a chance to pass it on, The youngins love it because it's so great.
I turn away from him, probably knocking my fins into him a little bit, and I pull up my Sean.
Excuse me.
Start playing it really loud.
He sort of starts to head back to his table, and then decides to go over to the barkeep and speaks to him for about a minute, and then afterwards the barkeep starts to head back over to you, sort of taps you on your shoulder mid-song, says, "Ma'am, unfortunately, we apparently got more people coming in here. We're going to need the table space."
Well,
You could,
I've never been so insulted in my life.
"I'm sorry, ma'am. It's just we got more people coming in, I got to sit more customers. I loved your music. It was fantastic. I'd love to give you a free drink, but, just need the space."
I grab up all my instruments and glaring at him, and I go up to the bar. Is my water still there?
Your water has been there the whole time.
Okay. Where's the patron that didn't like my music?
Right here at this table.
Alright, well, I take my glass of water and I throw it in his face.
Like the glass or just the water?
Just the water. I'm not gonna throw a glass.
Just knock him out with a glass of water.
No.
And he sort of turns to you and says, "Do you know who I am?"
No, and I don't care.
I like her.
"Oh, you wait here. I'll grab someone. Yeah, you're gonna regret messing with Drafnor." And he sort of storms out as his two friends kind of look at you with their eyes raised. and they kind of just shake their heads.
I'm gonna start storming out myself.
Abner starts clapping.
I bow as I walk away. Did anyone throw money at me or like no?
Yeah, actually, during your performance, some of the patrons who had recently walked in, did you have like anything out, like a container of any sorts?
I had a shell.
Yeah, a few sort of copper coins have been placed into a shell, and one silver coin, which you could tell one of the patrons who is wearing less nice clothing has been eyeing for a bit.
Alright, I grabbed that up as I left.
Okay, you pick up your shell with, you made 4 copper and 1 silver.
Okay.
And sort of as you walk away, the bartender kind of motions for you to come closer.
Alright, I changed my mind and I go up to him.
Says, I hope you're not leaving before you get the drink.
Let's drink. You gave me water.
Said I'd treat you to a free drink. The performance was better than I expected, to be completely honest.
Oh, merci.
Of course. And don't worry about him. He, full of empty threats. Just take some time to storm it off, on the street surrounding this one. Kind of just gets into a hissy mood, pushes around a few guards, and, ends his night. Typically, it's a little later in his routine, but, something must have bugging him today.
I think he is racist.
Probably. A lot of the folks in Drofnor are. We don't, see too many non-humans. Even I am a little out of the ordinary. I'm a run-of-the-mill dwarf.
Very well. Do you have some weaker ale? I'm afraid I can't hold my liquor.
How about, I just water down some, beer?
That will work. Merci.
And he starts to, put that together. And sort of after, about 20 seconds of sort of getting more water into it and then putting more beer in and kind of pouring a little bit out and then putting more water in and more beer, he finally gets a ratio that he's happy with and gives it to you, and he says, and I'm sorry to inconvenience you further, but I'm gonna have to ask you to, if he allows it, sit over there next to that young man in the corner. He running out of space here, and I gotta account for every seat.
I understand. Thank you.
Of course. And after that, he starts to roll the table back in place.
Over here, oh boy.
Yeah, you get to squeeze in next to Johnny Depp.
Yep.
Raphael won't say anything. He'll just make room for you to sit down and set down your stuff and whatnot. He's pretty much just looking around the room and sizing up all the patrons.
Merci. And I sip at my drink.
Okay. So a good another 5 to 10 minutes passes when you all sort of notice as the door is sort of forcefully slammed open, sort of hitting the wall as you kind of hear a crack, probably the door stopper being broken, basically, as a woman kind of stumbles in. If you have even just decent eyesight, you notice that her eyes are puffy and her mouth is sort of quivering as she sort of slumps over to the counter and asks for an ale, and you see the bartender sort of begrudgingly give her an ale and sort of exchange some words with her as she starts to slump over into this booth right over here, where she begins like to quickly just down the beer, and afterwards sort of just burst into tears. Although you can see that she's no longer able to produce any tears. It's just crying. The bartender obviously notices this, and it looks like he's starting to walk over to her, but instead walks over to Lulu and sort of leans in and says, "Ma'am, I hate to disturb you again, but I figure you're one of the more charismatic people in this bar. That woman's been coming in and crying for the past 4 nights. Won't stop talking about some Lucas or something. It always drives my patrons off. I'd be greatly indebted to you if you wouldn't be able to go over there and stop her from crying. Either convince her to not come back or just solve whatever problem she's having. Free drinks and whatever. She's just bad for business."
I understand. I will try to help the poor thing.
Thank you. And he starts to walk away.
I'm not gonna go over to the booth, but I will come over to the edge of the bar and listen into what's going on. And I'll order another drink just to seem more natural and whatnot.
He goes ahead and gets you another drink and doesn't ask for any money. It seems like he's just subtracting that from the gold that you already gave him. And as for Lulu, the woman sort of notices you, but just continues to sort of sob as she continues to down her drink. And you just constantly hear her muttering, and the only real intelligible words that you can hear are Lucas and gone.
Can Merle and Abner hear these things?
Yeah, it's quite loud.
Okay. Well, for the time being, Abner's gonna look over, be nosy, and cast Detect Thoughts on her.
Jeez.
Oh, wow. So does she have to make a save for that?
Only if I want to go deeper, but I can see her base thoughts right now. Like what she's thinking about.
Okay, so yeah, you're overcome with sort of just immense grief and exhaustion. It seems like she's been worrying about this for a long time, but a lot of thoughts are just racing. Even still, you can only really glance strands, but it seems like her son, Lucas, is missing. She came back from working at a local general store, and she found her door forced open and her son was nowhere to be found. And she's just thinking about everything that could have happened if her son is okay, where he is, who did it, why did this happen, was she a bad mother? And these things are just constantly circling around in her head.
Hey, Merle, you see that crying lady over there?
Yep.
I think she lost her son or something. I was nosy and cast a spell.
Yeah, you're always nosy. You got a big nose.
Oh, wow.
Don't you comment about that. Papa had a big nose too.
Too bad you couldn't have gotten Papa's big brain. Keep out other people's business.
Shots fired.
Well, we both didn't get Papa's big brain, or else we wouldn't be here. Now,
It's too far now.
too far. You're commenting on my facial features.
You got a big nose.
Listen, I got big ears too, but that don't matter none. Now, I say we all go try to help her. Maybe
Make that thing your spellcasting focus. Save your hand, something's doing.
In the meantime, I just kind of pat like her shoulder. Madame, what is the matter?
Well, they took him. They took Lucas. And I don't know when I'm going to see him again. If I'm ever going to see him again.
Oh no, no more tears.
There are no more tears. I've been crying for 5 days straight.
Oh, you poor thing.
The poor thing is Lucas. I don't know if I'm going to see him again.
Well, maybe I can help you.
You know where he is?
No, but maybe I can find out.
Would you?
I will try.
I don't know where he is. I don't know who took him.
Well, what was he doing when you saw him last?
Oh, he was working on his homework. He's going to school. He's going to be the smartest kid.
Oh no, how old is he?
He's only 8.
Oh nice, so young.
He didn't deserve this. No kids deserve this.
Jesus.
This is getting a little deep.
I am sure I could try to find him. I hate to ask, but have other children gone missing?
I don't know. You have to ask around. I've just been holed up. I tried to find him. I wandered the streets, but they arrested me. They thought I was breaking into places.
Oh my, you poor thing. There. Why don't I have calm emotions? Seriously.
Can a minor illusion a canary landing onto Abner's nose?
It's just in the meantime.
Yeah, just a tweeting little yellow canary.
Wow.
Do you make noises too?
Yeah. It's same spell.
She kind of looks over. She sees this tweeting canary on Abner's nose, and this is sort of the first time that she's looked up in a while, and she kind of looks hopeful and almost immediately goes back into sorrow. She says, "Canaries were his favorite bird."
I did not see that coming.
I look over there and I'm like, Monsieur, you are making it worse.
Oh, I didn't mean nothing by it.
See what happens when you're rude like that?
I didn't mean nothing by it. How was I supposed to know his favorite bird was a canary?
You meant to be rude.
He also had
To
a
you.
southern accent.
Right.
Oh, Lucas.
What accent?
How fortuitous.
Accent.
What you mean?
What's accent?
Oh,
I think this lady's losing her brain.
A-
pulse, you know what I mean?
I reckon an accent's what that pretty blue lady's got.
Oh. What? Wait, what part of her?
What?
I don't think it's the fins, dumbass.
Oh. No. What part of her is the accent?
Her voice, stupid.
Well, we got a voice.
Yeah, but hers sounds funny.
Oh. Oh, so it's a funny voice.
Must be.
Hey, that's rude.
I can hear you over here.
Oh, that's her accent.
Yep. Reckon so.
Yeah, I couldn't see it. Came out when she spoke.
This whole time, this woman is still just kind of sobbing and bawling.
Oh, my.
I'm gonna go over to the booth and sit down across from her and pull out a handkerchief and give it to her, and ask, "Do you know where the best place might be to go and ask for information about what might have happened to Lucas?"
I tried to ask the town guard when I was in their jail. They wouldn't listen to me. Maybe. I don't know if I trust them. Maybe they took him.
It's certainly a possibility.
Why would somebody take your boy?
And who is that?
It's me. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say anything.
I assume the two of you are still at the booth that's 2 over.
Yeah.
I reach over and use light to make Abner's teeth glow. When you put things away, see how it feels to have one of your insecurities pointed out by somebody, especially with magical effects?
A fix?
Fix.
A fix?
She continues to just kind of look around to see where these noises are all coming from.
Are we invisible?
No, you're not, but
Like you're 2 booths
the
over.
booths are
Sitting
pretty
in a booth.
high. Yeah.
See?
But she saw the canary.
But Abner was out in the sort of crossway.
Well, I'm gonna minor illusion Abner's nose even bigger and with like a big drip of green snot hanging from it.
She kind of looks at him and is like, he always had snot dripping from his nose. That kid was always finding a way to be sick.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe we should leave.
I minor illusion Abner's teeth real big. Just be adversarial.
Just poking, clipping through my chin.
Yeah.
In the meantime, as you two are having a minor illusion war, she kind of looks over at both Raphael and Lulu, and she says, "I'm too much of a mess right now. Come back to my house tomorrow. I'll get my thoughts together. I need to get better for Lucas."
It's actually not a bad idea. There might be clues there from the spot that he was taken that could have been missed.
Oui, that is true.
Getting drunk at a bar ain't gonna get him back neither.
She is trying to cope, you idiot.
and
I
you
don't
see
no
her
saw.
kind of tear off some of her pant leg, and she sort of takes out a pen from who knows where, and
My.
starts sort of jotting down some information, and she starts drawing some stuff, and she says,
Ooh la la.
uh, tomorrow, around midday, just drop by. I'll recognize you. I just need to get some sleep. It's the first time that anyone's been willing to help. Thank you so much.
Of course.
I
No
I
problem.
I don't know what I can pay you, but I promise I'll give you anything you want. If you need someone to do anything, I'll do it. I just want Lucas back.
No payments necessary. If a boy's safety hangs in the balance, then something needs to be done.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And she starts to sort of get out of her seat. She says, "Midday tomorrow. I'll be better. I promise." And she starts to sort of hobble away, and she kind of makes it out the door.
Boy, I hope she don't get kidnapped before you guys can get any information out of her.
That wouldn't be ideal.
Yeah, that'd be real unfortunate, like.
You sound suspicious. I don't trust you.
Mighty suspicious.
I'm gonna minor illusion Abner's ears even bigger. Like big donkey ears.
I'm gonna use my reaction to counterspell you.
Oh,
Alright then.
okay. You succeed.
Bitch.
Oh man.
A couple of clowns.
Something like that.
Man.
Yes, this is the reason we're here.
I'd hate to spend every day for the foreseeable future with those guys. You know what I'm saying?
As you
That
say
cool.
that, Lulu feels a sort of hand on her, I guess, lower back as she turns around to see the bartender trying to sort of reach her shoulder. And
A very
now you can
cautious
sort
poke
of
to the butt cheek.
you can sort of see the great difference between your height as he sort of looks up and says, well, thank you for getting her out of here. As I mentioned, free drink for you. And he looks over at Raphael and says, and in future nights, I'll pay for a night of your drinking as well.
Many thanks, sir.
So what was the whole deal about anyways? Lucas, her husband, ran off or something?
Her son was
No.
kidnapped.
A little boy.
Her son was her husband?
Pay no mind
Weird.
to them.
Oh boy.
And he sort of looks at them and kind of raises his eyebrow and looks back to the two of you and says, really, her son was kidnapped. Maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I hired a young woman to help out with the bar since I was getting so many new customers and all. I only had her for a few days before she stopped showing up. She came back in, said her son had skipped town or something. Didn't think much of it, but wonder if this could be connected.
Certainly a possibility.
Perhaps.
Do you know where she is now?
Oh, I think she left town looking for him, but if this is a pattern at all, maybe talking to locals might help with that.
Certainly a good idea. Although, I don't know if anything can be done about it tonight. Do you have rooms here, or do you know where I might be able to acquire a room for the night?
What time is it?
It's about probably 10 o'clock now.
Okay.
And he sort of thinks and he says, well, I can tell you I have no rooms here, but seeing how you all helped with sort of getting her out of here, and I assume getting her out of here for good, I think it's only right that, oh. Are you okay with sickness?
Sickness?
What do you mean, sickness?
Well, I mean being around people who are sick.
Depends on what the sickness is.
Well, my mother is a little under the weather. She's not handling it too well, but if the two of you are healthy, I'm sure it won't be bad. I'd be more than happy to give you an extra room at my place. We been having caretakers come in and out, and well, they're not spending the night tonight, so
I don't see why not.
This may be science for you, but do you have a bathtub in the house?
yes we do, although that's where my mom is sort of treated some of the days. You can use it, but it may be a little dirty.
I could take care of that in a moment. You see,
Well, if you're content with that, I mean, it's the least I can do.
Sure.
Very well. And he sort of jingles around in his pocket, and he pulls out a set of keys, and he says, "It's a house right next door, the two-floored one. My wife should be in there. Just tell her that you did me a great favor, and that you'll be staying in the caretaker's room."
Alrighty.
merci, you are very kind.
Well, let me tell you, you did a lot for my business tonight by getting her out of here. Although, I hope that her whole situation is solved, because that's awful.
Well,
Uh,
we'll do our best.
He says, well, whenever you want to head over, that's fine. You don't have to go now if you don't want.
All right.
And he starts to head back over to clean some glasses that have been returned by a few patrons who have headed out.
I look at Raphael and I still have a drink, so I'm sipping it again. It was very nice of you to help that madame.
Well, like I said, when there's a boy in danger, something should be done.
Ah, oui, I agree. What's your name?
Raphael Grayscale. It's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
Ah, Raphael. With a kingly name.
Why, thank you.
I am Lulu.
It's a pleasure.
I do a little bow.
If I might ask, and I mean no offense, What exactly are you?
I get asked that all the time. I am a Triton from the ocean.
I see. Well, I've never met a Triton before. It's, I'm very pleased that you're the first one.
The pleasure is all mine, sir.
And uh, with that, I'm gonna down the rest of my drink. Um, well, I hate to cut the conversation short, but I think I'm gonna head next door and get to bed. I've had kind of a long day.
It's been a long day for me as well.
Well, hopefully tomorrow will be better. And with that, I'm gonna get up and start heading out.
Who has the keys again?
I guess
Presumably
Raphael
me.
does.
Alright, well, I guess I will be following then. I'll give like a little glare at the Haggerty brothers.
I just wave with a smile.
Get a load of this frou-frou romance BS.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, he gave us keys to just, like, walk into his house?
Yeah, pretty much. And as you walk in, you see a dwarven woman kind of rush into the entry and say, well, before she can see you, she goes, "Dear, you're back early." And then she sort of comes in and sees the two of you and says, "Oh, and who would you be?"
Well, my name is Raphael, and this here is Lulu. The bartender next door said that we could stay here in the caretaker's quarters for the night.
Ah, Bunky said that, huh?
If that's his name, then yes.
Hmm. Well, typically he introduces himself to people before letting them stay in our house, but obviously you must have done something if he handed over the keys. And the caretaker's room, right?
That's what he said.
Yes. Well, let me show you the way. And she takes you up some stairs and shows you a room with twin beds and says, the two of you can stay here overnight. The caretakers won't be coming back for another 2 days. Until then, we're taking care of his mom, but it shouldn't be too bad.
Well, thank you very much for your hospitality. And
Of course.
I think you should probably take these, and I'll hand her over the keys.
She says, yes, thank you. And she says, well, if you need anything, just let me know. I would stay up here on the second floor just because his mother's down there, but if you need anything else, just I'll be in a room down the hall. And she kind of points to what's almost obviously the master bedroom.
Merci. I do have a request. I would prefer to sleep in the bathtub, if that would not be too inconvenient. I wake up early.
The bathtub, huh?
Oui.
Yeah, that's that would be on the first floor, but there shouldn't be any problem with that. And she kind of motions for you to follow her.
I do so.
And she takes you down to the first floor where there is a sort of larger bathroom, which has a bathtub and some sort of spout, sort of from the ceiling.
This will do very nicely.
And she says, "I assume you wanted, filled with water."
Oui, that is the idea.
Ah, gotcha. She says, "Well, if you wake up and too much of the water is evaporated or whatever, just pull this handle here, and the water will come out." And she sort of pulls a handle that's right next to the bath, and as she does so, sort of the lid of the spout opens up, and water starts pouring from the ceiling into the bathtub, and it starts to fill, and she lets go of the handle, and it sort of snaps back into place. And she says, "So just pull it out for as long as you need, and then just let it go when you're ready, and the water will stop coming out."
Oh, thank you very
Let
much.
it go. Let it go.
And she leaves the bathroom and says, "You may want to lock it just in case anyone tiredly stumbles in. We have another bathroom, you don't have to worry."
Très bien. When she
Well,
walks
Abner-
away, I press a digitation real quick to clean it out,
Clean it out.
make it
Yeah.
smell nice.
Yeah, it was getting a little moldy in there, some
Oh,
ointments and stuff kind of strewn about.
We should head back to the room we've been renting, doing all this work we done. Don't want to go off and freeload or nothing.
Yeah. I agree.
then.
Haggerty's are in their way.
Oh my god.
So the two of you are finished in the bar.
Yeah.
As you start to head out, the bartender comes over and taps Abner on the shoulder and says, "Well, now that I've been giving it more thought, those other two may need your help. I don't know if you got any of the information or ever heard any of it, but
I got it all up here. I tap on my noggin.
Miss any information with them ears? Who you fooling?
he kind of chuckles. This seems to be his sort of humor as he looks at the two of you and he says, "Well, very well, but I'm gonna have my own son or daughter in who knows how many years. I would hate to have him in a situation where, they could be kidnapped, or taken, or killed, or whatever. I don't know what happened, but
Or eaten.
or eaten, God forbid."
Stealing young is bad news.
Yeah, well, if the two of you helped out on this case, it sure would make me feel a lot better, and I'd be happy to treat you to, some booze as you deal with the whole thing.
I don't think anyone's ever said something of that caliber to us before. You feel good
Hmm?
if we'd help?
Yeah, I mean, the two of you look like you can handle some trouble. I don't know how much, but
We can't even handle each other.
Oh,
I think
boy.
you're selling us a little short there, Abner.
Sure.
We'll help out.
says,
Yeah.
well, you know what? Stop by the place next door, 2 stories. tomorrow, before midday, serve you some food, get you acquainted with the others, and the four of you can sort of sort this whole thing out. I think they have some more information that you may not have gotten, but I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll be there.
I got all the info right up here. The address and whatnot.
He says, well, perfect, but still, just swing by.
Alright.
We can do that.
He says, and how'd you enjoy the bread and cheese?
Oh, it was good.
Was now I'm gonna use my fancy words, Merle. It was superb.
He sort of laughs, thinking that was a joke. And says, yeah, superb, fancy word, yes.
God, I love him so much.
He heard me. I put my hand over my mouth.
As we walk out the door, I'm a biff Abner on the back of the head, and I'll say,
Hey.
"You idiot! People asking for us to help them. You don't tell them we can't do nothing."
Well, I didn't say we can't do nothing. I just said, people don't usually ask us to help with something.
Yeah, and you think that might be why? Dummy.
No.
Clearly not.
Hey, Merle, you ever think about not being so mean?
You ever think about not looking so ugly?
Listen, Grandmama passed her genes to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And old Grandpappy Jedediah ain't done nothing to help.
How do both of you guys fit into one pair of jeans?
What?
Very nice.
Oh man, took me a minute.
So, as the two of you sort of make your way at the door, you sort of make banter as you head back to your room, which shouldn't be too far away, especially since you're in the same sort of section of the city. And nobody has to worry about sort of keeping watch or anything, as you all get a pretty good night of sleep. And with that, let's take a small break.
Intermission.
Since Evo is not here, we can probably go to 9. Is that fine with everyone, or were you expecting things to end shorter?
I was
Works for me.
hoping for. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
'Cause-
note that I locked the door to the bathroom.
Yes, you did.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right back.
Alright.
Also, I have to say that I really like the Hagrides.
Oh my god,
They're pretty
so
great.
good.
Thanks.
I'm sure y'all have done some practice with that banter, or at least getting the relationship down, but it's pretty good.
Nah, I just have a brother.
Oh, classic.
That's fair.
More or
Alright.
less how I treat Liam all the time. So
That's true.
I'm gonna
I
go
just
to the
deal
bathroom,
with this.
so stream's gonna
This
pause
is just
for a
the
minute before
classic
we exit,
Scott
guys.
Liam relationship.
yeah, this is just me bullying
And we are back.
Okie dokie. So, everyone got a pretty nice night of sleep, unless you did not want to get a nice night of sleep, in which case you did not get a nice night of sleep. The people who were sleeping in Bunky's house all wake up to a nice breakfast.
Nice.
Omelets. Sort of omelets with meat in them are what are being served at the dinner table. Just the meal table in general, not dinner table.
Omelette du fromage.
Yes, there is cheese in it. While Drafnor does lack in farm produce, typically for like agriculture, so like wheat, bread, that sort of stuff. They do have a lot more meat, since sort of the wild grains are well consumed by sort of their livestock. So there is cheese from cows, and there's quite a lot of meat and eggs. So the omelets taste fantastic, as you sort of join both Bunky, his wife, and his mother, as you all sort of sit down at the table and eat together. The Haggertys, however, are subject to whatever is being served in their inn, as well as the surrounding eateries.
Alright.
Can't be that bad.
I'm sure y'all can deal with it if it is bad.
What is that supposed to mean?
It's point.
Not supposed to mean anything. As the day starts to progress and things start to happen, you notice that Bunky is gone to go to next door to sort of clean up from the night before and get ready for the day, which seems like his bar opens around 2 o'clock. So rather early, although it seems to be a rather popular lunch space as well. The wife of Bunky kind of ends up just taking care of his mother, as it does seem like she's both just getting old and senile, as well as she's getting rather sick as well.
Oh, she's a dwarf, isn't she?
She is a dwarf. So there's sort of this rather old woman with hair that goes down to the floor, kind of being carried and taken from place to place, either her resting bed or areas where she's fed and given medicine or cleaned or whatever needs to be done for her health. Around 10 o'clock, the Haggertys, and I assume this is fine with both of you, you end up arriving at the at Bunky's house after being given directions to arrive there. Unless
the lady's house.
Not at the lady's house, at the residence of the bartender, to meet up with both Lulu and Raphael.
Okay.
Unless you foresee issues with you getting there.
No.
Okay. So yeah, the two of you arrive, and you knock on the door, and because Bunky's wife is occupied, she calls for either Lulu or Raphael to answer the door.
I'll go answer the door, I suppose. Oh, jeez. These clowns. Alright. What are you guys doing here?
Well, we were just here to meet up with y'all. Right, Merle?
Bunky invited us along for the foreseeable future.
Oh, joy. Okay.
Hate to break up your love party, but
Yeah.
hopefully we won't get in your way of all your touchy-feelies.
Oh wow.
Alright. I was just about to head up and pack up my things, and then I was going to head out to, Did that woman ever give us her name last night?
She did not.
Okay. I'll head over to the crying lady's house after. I suppose if you guys want to tag along, I have no objections.
That's what we were thinking about.
I'm
Find out
surprised you
who's-
were thinking about anything at all.
Stealing youngins.
Yeah,
You know-
about a lot of stuff.
You realize we both gone to college, right?
Yeah, we're college-faring folks.
You could have fooled me.
How could we have fooled you? We are clearly both wizards.
Yeah, look at us. We're all smart-looking.
Right.
I end up going up to the door and peeking around. What are these clowns doing here?
They are,
Plans. That's funny. I'm a minor illusion, a really big clown nose onto happening.
That is hilarious now, isn't it? I'm going to minor illusion red afro on Merle.
I'm gonna roll my eyes and head back up to my room to get my things. Apparently, Lulu, they're wanting to accompany us.
See what you done did.
Abner, maybe we should cool it on the bodily changes. Remember last time, every time we did something, made that poor lady upset.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We might not know who else is triggered by minor illusions.
As I say this, without him noticing, I'm gonna minor illusion a tail onto him.
I'm gonna have a sort of wisdom check from Abner, just to see if he notices the
Do I
tail.
have to do like a sleight of hand check?
Yeah. Why don't you?
Oh, what?
Actually, how about it just be against your spell save DC?
Okay, yeah, that works.
Again. What is it? Perception, you said?
Wisdom.
Oh, wisdom. Okay.
Just flat wisdom.
Just to check.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's not very good. Wisdom isn't mine. 9.
Not
9?
even
Does
close.
that beat it?
No,
You do not
even
notice
close.
that he basically pins the tail on the donkey.
Well, I'd say we might get on to the crying lady's house.
So the four of you are now ready and start to head over to her house. And sort of after following sort of the tear-soaked directions,
Oh.
you eventually make it to her house after kind of stopping at a few residences, which after knocking, you did not find her within. And after knocking at her house, she kind of walks up and opens the door, and a smile instantly is sort of plastered across her face as her eyes are still sort of red and puffy, but she's excited to see you, and she says, "Please come in, come in. I'm so sorry for last night. This whole thing is really taking its toll on me, but the fact that there's help now, I maybe I'm too optimistic, but I feel like you all will be able to, get my son back."
That's the plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll certainly try.
She says, come in. And you kind of walk in, and you notice her house is a little disheveled. You're not sure if it's just because, she's been in such a emotional and distressful state, or if she's always sort of lived in this sort of disheveled state. But you sort of sit down on the couch that she beckons you towards. And she says, "Wait right here. I'll be right back. I have some documents that I prepared. I talked to some neighbors last night too, and I wrote down some notes, and just let me get everything together." And she sort of runs off, and after a few minutes of sort of just waiting around on the couch and staring at each other awkwardly, she arrives, or she returns, and she says, "Well, this is what I know. It's not a lot, but basically, there are two things that I feel are the most probable situations that occurred. One is that that they being the kidnappers or whoever, they came in here and they just took him. They knew that he was alone somehow. Maybe they staked out the place. But that the kidnappers broke in and took him, and I hope that isn't the case, because it's harder to track. I don't know who they are, why they would have done it, what they're taking Lucas for, but the other thing that has sort of bothered me for a while and kind of clicked last night was my neighbor. She's never approved of me and my husband, and I guess she was right, because he left me, but she constantly would tell me to... Sorry?
Nothing.
Oh. She would constantly tell me to break up with him, to divorce him, to put my child in an orphanage, and well, I didn't really pay her much attention then. I just thought she was racist. She didn't like my husband, but it's possible she saw it fit to take him somewhere.
Who was your husband?
My husband, Darius, he
Oh no.
he left about a year ago. We'd been together for 5 years, and well, he developed a bit of a drinking problem, and
What was your husband's? Describe him.
well, he was a rather tall orc.
Oh.
He was quite the powerhouse in the bed, but other than that, he
Overshare. Yeah.
I'm sorry. He lacked some manners, and well, he upset some of the neighbors. I wasn't sure if maybe they resented our son or him for the orc lineage. You see, here in Drafnor, the orcs are different. They sort of seek knowledge, as opposed to the classic warlust that they're constantly seen as outside of Drafnor. I think that a few of the foreigners may have gotten cross with me and my willingness to marry such a man. But either I'm not too sure about. There are obvious signs that things were moved, that my son struggled, that Lucas struggled when he was being kidnapped, but I don't know who or why he was taken.
Do you think it might be possible that your ex-husband might have come back for him?
No, he wasn't like that. He left for knowledge. Something about some tome. I can't quite remember, but he left south. I doubt he would be back. And he wasn't ever too much about a fatherly relationship with our child. It was more of an accident more than anything.
Mm.
But I was more keen on keeping the child than he was.
Well, you did carry it in your belly. Wait.
That is true, biologically speaking.
So you would be, one would think. Right, that sounds smart, doesn't it, Marl?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm. Maybe it's the alcohol that I drank last night, but I can't quite remember the two of you. Would you, please introduce yourselves? I feel awful for asking that.
No, that's quite all right. We were a few booths over. Couldn't help but overhear the happenings. And the barkeep saw fit to ask for our help.
Bunky did. I feel bad for him. I've been in there the past. I can't imagine that. A weeping woman like myself would be too attractive for business.
Well, it's one of the many reasons to go to a bar, I reckon.
That's what I thought as well.
Do you mind if I take a look around and see if I can't maybe find some clues that you may have missed?
Oh, please do. I'm obviously not a professional, and I've tried to find others to search through, but no one has taken interest.
Did your boy have anything like a piece of jewelry or something he had with him all the time? Maybe a little doll or something like that?
I'm afraid that we weren't that wealthy enough to afford that. Dolls or anything. Presents for him.
Maybe he might have made himself. Something he carried around with him. Memento.
He did have a favorite doll, although when he turned 7, he wanted me to get rid of it. He was too manly for it, he said. But I kept it in a chest if that's something that would help with the investigation.
Nah, not no. If it's here, do you know what he was wearing? Could you
I'm afraid
describe
I
it
didn't.
in detail? No?
I was gone all day. I made him breakfast and set out lunch for him. But I couldn't be there during the day. I had to get right to my job. It's not hard to care for a child when you're on your own, but it's the hand that I was dealt, and I've been trying to make best of it as I can.
Right.
Well, that's very admirable.
Thank you. I just hope that when he comes back, I can do a better job. Maybe spend less time at work. He'll get less presents, but I'll get more peace of mind that he's safe.
All right. Well, if you don't have any more information to share, I think I'll start taking a look around.
There is some information that is important. The orphanages that were mentioned. My next door neighbor. I'm not sure if she took him or if maybe she tipped someone off. But she always recommended 2 orphanages. One was the rumpus room. The other was Sophia's orphanage.
Why is the rumpus room called that?
Well, if I recall, it's also a daycare as well as an orphanage. The kids, something about stimulating the orphans.
But, what?
Right.
It's a rather active center. They apparently have slides and everything. I once wanted to drop little Lucas off there, but they demanded a silver per day, which I can't afford.
That's understandable. Alrighty. I'm gonna start taking a look around the place.
Okie dokie. Just kind of looking in general.
Yeah, seeing if I can't find anything out of place, any identifying, I don't know, clues as to what might have happened to him, who might have taken him, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Can I get a investigation check?
Sure. Uh, 18.
18. So you head over to his room, which she sort of directed you towards. And in his room, you see that most things haven't been moved since what she sort of described was a struggle. As you sort of look around, the few possessions that he's had, the scuff marks, as well as sort of the dents in both cabinets, as well as a small sort of divot in the floor, suggests that the person who abducted Lucas was a sort of larger man, probably somewhere above 250, 300 pounds, which makes it seem like, unless her neighbor is of a similar size, it seems like a larger professional came through and grabbed her son.
Okay.
Other than that, it's obvious that he put up a struggle. You see a lot of scuff marks, both on the frame of the door, as well as the floor, from where he was probably grabbing on and sort of clawing at to keep from getting kidnapped.
Alrighty.
I can't remember. Did she say what happened with the neighbor? Is the neighbor there? Or did she leave?
The neighbor should still be there. She just said that her neighbor has constantly sort of taunted her and told her that her kid belongs in an orphanage. That she's not fit to mother a half-orc child.
Gotcha.
I will, I'll come out of his room and quietly reiterate my perceptions to Lulu and the Haggertys.
Might have been another orc coming in, reclaiming the key.
I mean,
I don't know. Into a trap or something. You know how orcs can be.
I don't even know what an orc is.
Well, if she's incorrect and they're anything like they are in Grelgris, then
No,
you won't
minor
enjoy them.
illusion, a little like mini orc in my hand.
That's an orc.
Yep.
Like a big green sea cucumber
Teeth.
with big teeth. Yes. Hey.
And well, the illusion doesn't get it across, but they have a bit of an odor to them. A bit like a hound dog.
I'd say that's an adequate comparison.
Ah. Very well, I understand. I think.
All right.
Males might be a little new to you as well.
So, do you guys think we should scout out the neighbor or go and check out the orphanages?
Well, whoever's more good luck with the questioning should probably check out the neighbor.
Yes, I tried talking to her, but it might give us more information.
Yeah,
I imagine she probably wouldn't like me very much.
4K no los dos.
You speak Elvish?
Why not do them both?
Yes, we could use that.
All right.
So, are there two parties splitting off, or are you just going from one to the other?
Probably that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you sort of inquire about where this neighbor lives, and she sort of points you to a house that is 3 doors down.
It's a good
And
band.
and you head over to the 2-door cinema club. 3 doors down.
Yeah.
As you sort of knock on the door, and a rather short human woman opens the door. She says, "What do you want?"
Well, the young boy from down the street there recently has gone missing, and we were wondering if you might have any information about what might have happened. I don't know if you had seen or heard anything, any information.
What young boy? There are a ton of them.
I believe his name is Lucas.
The half-orc one, ma'am.
Yeah, he was one of them there green folks.
Oh, that kid. Ugh. Ugh. That mother needed someone better to parent him. And if he has orc blood in him, there's no way a human mother can raise him.
Right. Well, that aside, did you hear anything or see anything maybe, or know anything about?
What happened to him?
He's gone missing.
Missing, huh?
We believe he might have been kidnapped.
He probably ran away to join the Orcish tribes. They're all foul. Foul things.
I find that highly unlikely. There were signs of struggle in his room.
Struggle, huh?
That's what I said.
Maybe one of the townsfolk got smart enough to just go off the kid, you know? We don't want an orc running around in Drafnor.
He was a child.
Yeah, well, childs turn into adults.
What an astute observation. If you could turn those obviously sizable brains of yours back to the question that I asked you, did you see or hear anything, or would be able to give us any information on what might have happened to him?
Well, I've been playing bridge with a couple of mothers across Long City. And seems like they're getting more protective of their children, not letting them out as much.
Ew.
Seems like there's someone going around, trying to feel up the children.
I see. Any indication as to who that might be, or who we might be able to talk to find out more information on who it might be?
They don't know, but said something about children going missing. And it's only in this area too. The folk who live in the other sections of the city don't seem to have the same problems. It's pretty much this area.
Okay. Well,
Thank you for your time, ma'am.
And there's one other thing.
go on.
Maybe?
I think there are other children going missing. Not just this Lucas kid, which, thank God he's gone.
Yes, ma'am. The barkeep mentioned one of his lady helpers lost her kid too.
Yeah. It's, something a little terrifying, Makes you wonder for your grandkids how they're gonna do, huh?
So, is it a variety of vices, or just a half-orc?
Well, all the women I know, they all got human kids. Maybe whoever's doing this got confused. Thought that kid was a good kid, but didn't know he was some sort of orcish sort of monstrosity.
Right.
Did we got? Excuse me. We got like the location of where the orphanages are, right?
No, you have not.
We have names of them.
Yeah, you do have names, but you did not get the locations.
Ma'am, do you know where these are? The orphanages?
The Rumpus Room and Sophia's Orphanage.
Thank you.
Oh, those are two wonderful places. I would know, cause I make the house cleaners. You know, if they got kids they can't take care of, I make them go there.
Are both of these here in this section of the city?
Oh, yes, they are. You know, otherwise, wouldn't be able to afford them.
Right. Right. Interesting.
Well,
Is there anything else?
I don't think so, but if you know of anything else or find out anything more, you should definitely find us and let us know what's going on.
And where are you located at?
You could always just ask Bunky. He'd probably know where we are.
Bunky, huh? Is that Bunky's hideaway?
That's the place.
Heard that place is getting popular.
Yep.
It was very crowded when I visited last.
Well, maybe my husband and I gotta go over there sometime.
It's a fine establishment. I definitely recommend it.
Well, thank you, and tell that woman, whoever that Lucas's mother was, stay away from orcs. Those green bastards, they're just full of problems.
Anyway, Bunky's has got good bread.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got bread and cheese.
Well, I've always been a sucker for bread.
Yeah, and cheese.
That cheese can stay on the wayside, but bread.
Comes up the
Bread.
false teeth there, doesn't it, lady?
False teeth? Who are you accusing of having false teeth?
No, ma'am.
You racist and you hate bread or cheese?
Racist? What are you talking about?
Perhaps we should go now. We have overstayed our welcome.
I'd say.
You have a good day, ma'am.
And I guess you have a good day, too.
Alright.
I don't want her to have a good day. She's mean, scary.
Monsieur, we got information. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I don't really care if she has a good day or not. It's just a formality.
Yeah, well, you were better at the whatever you called them.
Formalities.
For fatalities.
Boy, you really are just the dumbest.
What college did you guys go to?
Starting to wonder if he went to the same damn school. I'll tell you.
I went to the College of
Winterhold?
that college have a name? I feel like it did. I don't know. I just remember there was bread and cheese there too.
Right. Sounds like a very fine establishment.
Yeah, it's got bread and cheese. It's real good.
Oh, right. Should we try to find these orphanages?
That does seem prudent. Alright.
Yep.
Where should we head first? Rumpus Room or Sophia's Orphanage?
Well, I reckon we better figure out where they are. Period. Before we head off.
You
going
were
anywhere.
you were given the sort of general location by that woman.
Oh. Maybe Sophia's orphanage. Sounds nicer.
Yeah, I don't want to go nowhere. It's called the Rumpus Room.
Especially not with these two, huh? And I'm gonna elbow Abner.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think I am some kind of loose woman?
Oh, I ain't saying nothing like that, man.
You may not be a loose woman, but there might be a horn dog somewhere around here.
All right, I think we should head out for Sophia's orphanage.
Hear that howling?
Yep. Yep.
Get a move on.
Okay, I'm going to need to quickly use the restroom, but I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
All right.
Okie dokie. Y'all hurry back now. Here.
DM's gone. Burn down the village, town, city.
I
One of
could
those.
flood it. All of water. Let's go.
I firebolt the wall of the inn.
Oh no.
Please don't burn down inns.
Yamcha fan, thanks for tuning into the stream, bud.
Hey.
Hmm. I know it may seem boring now, but that's just because our DM isn't here.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll be right back as well.
Damn it. Alright, I'll be right back too.
All right, looks like we're taking another break. Got any room in that campaign for one more? Unfortunately, this is just kind of a campaign between friends that we do from like a Minecraft group that we're in. So, unfortunately, no, we don't have any more room in the campaign.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Everyone else left.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hmm.
So how are the two of you doing?
Good.
Yeah, pretty alright.
Good. You had enjoyed your Christmases slash holidays.
Yeah.
More or less.
I got a new scarf.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
It's nice and
Alright.
fancy.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Hopefully you like the scarf.
Yeah. My grandma made it for me, so
Oh,
kind of obligated to
handmade.
like it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's hard not to like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not if you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Why isn't this a Nintendo Switch?
I already have
You
one of
old
those.
bitch.
Oh, wow.
Alright.
I'm sure your grandma's really nice. I was talking about the hypothetical grandma for the
No,
asshole.
I figured.
Yeah. Only my hypothetical grandma's a bitch.
Yeah.
There you go.
Welcome back, Day.
So we're just waiting on Liam, I see. Yet again.
Classic.
As usual.
God damn it, Liam.
God, I'm such an asshole.
Yeah,
Welcome
seriously.
back, bud.
Welcome back. I mean, what? Huh?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh,
There's
God.
something I gotta send you later, Liam, that I think you'd either enjoy or absolutely hate. I'm not sure which, but I'll send it to you anyways.
Okay, that's fine. I just opened turkey from Thanksgiving, so that's not good.
I was thinking that you'd say, like, you opened an app accidentally, and you're just like, I opened Thanksgiving turkey.
All right. I want to find some orphanages.
Okay. So, y'all were going to Sophia's first, right?
I believe that was the plan.
Okay. So it takes a little while for the four of you to find it. However, you end up outside a rather well-kept building, which has the sort of title of Sophia's orphanage, sort of burned into a wooden sign that hangs above the door. It doesn't look like too happy of a building. However, it seems well kept. And as you approach the door, you hear sounds sort of pouring out from inside of it.
Seems like this is the place.
What kind of sounds?
Children kind of laughing or screaming or crying or whatever.
A combination of any of those.
Combination of all of those.
Oh, that must be the stimulation.
I think that was the rumpus room that had the stimulation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, I remember everything I hear, except sometimes it just doesn't get put together right.
I remember everything I hear except for when I don't.
Right.
Alright, well.
I think we both
Is-
have that feat too.
Is this like a public kind of building, or would we need to knock?
The door handle seems to be one of those that typically is associated with the building that you do not need to knock. It's sort of the, like, you push down as opposed to, like, the doorknob.
Okay. I will walk in then.
You walk in and you find yourself in a sort of small greeting area with a desk and a receptionist who kind of smiles at you as you walk in. There's a flower on the counter as well as several little cards that seem prepared for anyone who is dropping a child off at the orphanage.
Alright. Excuse me, but me and my companions here are investigating the disappearance of a young boy, and we were hoping that if he isn't here, you might be able to give us some information on what might have happened to him, or if you've seen anyone similar to his description.
That's not why I'm here. You got any of them half-orc boys? I want to adopt one.
Adopt one.
I'm so sorry that you're in that situation, although I'm afraid that I haven't seen any half-orc boys come through here. Most are human. Most. It seems like Sophia has sort of a preference for them. I don't want to say we screen the children, but at the same time, we'll occasionally divert children from here to other orphanages that they typically are not of the human race, but it works out well. Sophia's fantastic with the human children.
Which orphanages take non-human children's?
Ernie's is great for. He typically takes in dwarvish children, but the rumpus room typically is the one that holds the more, I guess you would say, mixed children. But at the same time, there aren't too many in Drafnor. The most of the being human and all.
Right. Should have figured it'd be the one with the funny name, huh, Abner?
Yeah, that's where I didn't want to go.
Do you guys keep a record of the children that you turn away?
Not the children that we turn away, unfortunately. Although Sophia would have a great memory. She's a wonderful mother to all of these children. And then if you'd like to, look, I'd love to help out. It's awful that anyone would have to lose their child, especially since most of these children don't end up seeing any foster parents of any sort. It would be awful that a child with a parent still alive would end up here.
Agreed. Do you think you could point us in the direction of Sophia then?
Of course. Let me take you right through. Typically, I'm here to screen adoption parents, but if you're here looking for a child, I'm sure Sophia wouldn't mind. Follow me. And the young woman sort of pulls up sort of a barrier that's in the counter and beckons for all of you to follow her.
Okay.
I will follow.
She then opens the door right behind her. As she sort of takes you all through, and she says, "This is the kitchen, but follow me." And she continues through the room as pushes by the chairs, which have been sort of haphazardly pulled out as the children have needed to eat, and as well as Sophia. She beckons that you follow through another door, and she sort of motions for you to look inside this new room. She says, "These are all the bunks. The kids all love it here. They really a lot of friendships made here. Sophia's great at that. These are the children that are currently not adopted." As she sort of points to some of the kids who are sitting on their beds and reading or taking naps, and she points to the door across the way, and she says, "That's where Sophia stays. It's sort of her master bedroom. Typically, you knock. If you'd like, I'll knock on that door and see if she's inside. I'll inside, but see if she's ready to take visitors. She normally naps during this time, but I'm sure she'd be more than happy to meet with the lot of you."
By all means.
And she sort of walks over to the door and knocks 3 times. She says, "Sophia, there are interested parties." And you kind of hear some rustling in the other room, and after a minute or two, the door opens and you see an older woman who has quite a few wrinkles. she looks a little stern, especially after she's waken up from her nap. She's woken up from her nap, sorry. She looks at the lot of you and says, what do you want?
Oh no, it's the same lady.
We were wondering if we might be able to ask you a few questions about the disappearance of a young boy that we're investigating.
What?
Oh boy.
Chocolate.
Chocolate! I will repeat myself a little bit louder.
A young boy, huh? Well, we got a lot of those. This is an orphanage and all.
This one was a half-orc.
A half-orc? Well, typically, I deal with humans, I don't have the, culture or sensitivity to deal with the other kinds. A half-orc, probably would have turned away.
That's what we were wanting to inquire about. We were told that you didn't keep any written records of the children that you turned away, but we were instructed that you might remember such a thing, and with so few half-orcs around, I figured it would be kind of hard to forget.
Probably, but at the same time, the last non-human I got was an elf, but I turned him over to the rumpus room, Those elves, they have a higher stamina.
They sure do.
Alright. Well, I suppose if he hasn't come through here, and you don't have any information about the disappearances of the children around here, then we'll be on our way over to the rumpus room to see if they have anything.
Disappearance of children, huh?
That's what we've been hearing about. We think any information on that might be relevant to this particular disappearance.
Haven't heard it. No children disappearing. Just, people just dropping their children off, as usual.
Okay. Well, unless anybody else has other questions, I think that's all I needed to ask.
Oui. But, merci for your time.
Nah?
Oh, man.
Helpful.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
Alright, let's go to the rumpus room.
Before you leave, my sister, she sells fantastic pastries. If you see her in the streets, you should buy one from her.
Oh man, that's
Alright.
like bridge.
Pastry.
Yeah, she uses bread in them. Well, just a little bit, because you know how Draftnor doesn't have the best access to that sort of grain. Yeast,
Meat pastries?
mostly.
Oh boy.
We gonna get us some meat.
They're quite tasty. They make you dream well.
What does this lady look like?
Probably in her 70s or 80s. Old, sort of curmudgeonly, short, grayish, whitish hair, bow tie, wearing a long dress that's pretty floral, not in a hippie way, but in a old grandmother sort of sense.
Have we seen any children?
What?
Have we seen any children here?
Yeah, you are currently seeing children. They're sort of sitting in their bunks, listening to the conversation.
Yeah,
How
we
do they
walked
look?
through with kids reading and stuff.
They look happy?
You can't really tell. A few of them are kind of playing together, and a few are sort of just off, laying in bed, either reading or just fiddling with their sheets.
You kids happy?
What kind of a question are you asking my kids, huh?
Huh, seems like he was asking the kids, not you.
Well, it's my business whether or not the kids are happy. They're acting good, they're happy. They're acting
Well,
bad, they're not happy.
Let him answer then.
Well, kids, are you happy? Huh? And the kids kind of all nod their heads frantically. She says, see? The kids are happy. They've been acting good.
What happens if they're acting not good?
Then they're not happy.
Why?
Well, let's say, I make sure that they want to be happy.
Hmm. All right.
And you see one kid who looks a little older and they stare at you in the eyes, and he sort of says, Miss Sophia, make sure that we're all happy, and I am happy to be here. There is nothing going on, and I'm glad that I'm here at Miss Sophia's orphanage.
I detect thoughts on him. What's he thinking? Is he thinking he's not happy?
No, he's thinking that he's happy, and all the kids should shut up about whether or not they're happy or not.
I'm gonna cast Suggestion using 2 sorcery points to do it as a subtle spell, and I'm gonna look at the boy that was talking and say, and of course you'd only tell us the truth, right?
Well, I tell you, whatever I need to keep this place in order.
Was that the kid?
That was a kid. His accent changed a little when he was suggested.
Was that intentional or?
A mixture.
How much whiskey have you been drinking?
Enough.
I think this is a problem that we are not equipped to solve.
Sure, is a real simple solution.
Killer and join the Dark Brotherhood. Alright.
Wow, the reference.
How many kids you got at this here orphanage?
Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 10 of them right now.
Only 10 of them.
Oh, I was thinking a much bigger place.
Yeah, well, for whatever reason, high turnover rate for these kids. Not a lot of people looking for them, and if they do, they just snatch them up.
High turnover rate at an orphanage?
Yeah, it seems like the people at Trofnor really care about taking in these kids.
Meat pastries.
Oh,
Yeah, she sells them. They're quite good. Her name is Gertrude. Rolls the streets. If you see a older woman with high gray hair, sort of put up into a sort of curly tower, that's her.
I'm gonna subtly cast Suggestion again, this time on the woman, and say, you wouldn't mind showing us your records of who's been adopting these kids in the last little while.
I wouldn't mind, but Fortunately, I don't got none records. You know, we're going paperless here in Drofnor.
No
How
records.
fortuitous.
No records, high turnover rate, meat pastries.
My.
Ooh.
Well, I'm hungry, but not for meat pastries.
Well, using. God damn it.
Well, I suppose if that's all you have to say, then we should be on our way.
Wait, you seen the people been adopting these kids?
Oh, yeah. Ton of people.
What do they look like?
Well, look like just you and me. They got arms, they got legs.
What kind of people? They look suspicious?
Well, if they look suspicious, we wouldn't give the kids away.
Can you see?
I can see. I have 2 eyes. They still work.
She have glasses on?
She does not have glasses on.
I put my hand back. How many fingers am I holding up? It's 4.
You got 4 fingers.
Alright.
You know you ain't supposed to say a number, right?
Well, no, I was telling the DM.
I like it better that you just said.
How many fingers I hold up is 4.
I think we are wasting time.
Yeah, alright. I just wanted to try something.
Alright, well, thank you very much for your time, Sophia.
Yeah, of course. If you need to come back, just let my secretary know.
I'll definitely keep this place in mind.
Good. If you see my sister, make sure you try those pies. They're to die for.
I will definitely look into her as well.
Good.
Alright. I will, I'll start heading back out then.
Okay, you head out. Does everyone else head out as well?
Yes.
I'm gonna very subtly change her hair color to pink. Prestidigitation.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
How subtly do you do that?
I mean, you guys would probably notice, but she won't.
Like, smack your hand.
I gave
Raphael
it.
just smirks.
What do the kids do?
The kids don't say anything, but a few of the kids kind of look at you with sort of an angry, peeved off countenance.
I minor illusion an octopus into her hair, like a little one.
At that point, most of the kids start sort of giggling, and she sort of starts to scold them for giggling.
That looks like the grandmama.
Okay, I'm ready to leave.
God damn it.
Yeah, we're going.
Alright.
Okie dokie. So you head out of the orphanage, and you sort of find yourselves on the street again, just sort of looking around and surveying the surrounding area.
Off to the rumpus room then, guys? And gal.
So the rumpus room is on the other side of town, and you start to head over there. It probably takes you about 10 to 15 minutes to sort of walk over there. And eventually you find yourselves outside of a room that is very wildly painted and has quite a crazy sign. Lots of sort of balls present, as well as a clown face, as it seems like it very much earns its title as the Rumpus Room.
Gee.
Seems like a place for stimulation.
Wait, was that clown face on the sign?
The clown face was on the sign.
I point at it and then look at fuck, what is his name?
Abner?
Abner? Hey, it looks like you.
I just frown.
Frown like a clown?
Alright, guys, that was the stream. I gotta go.
I mean, I could have cast Vicious Mockery if you want.
No thanks.
No, you don't want psychic damage?
Alright.
I already
No.
get enough psychic damage from my brother.
It's true though.
It is almost 9. Do we want to explore the Rumpus Room on Sunday, or do we want to keep going?
That is a good idea, to postpone the Rumpus Room explorage until Sunday.
Alright.
Okay.
In that case, good session, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling as generous as Omega, so I won't keep the stream up for post-game talk, but
That's
thank you
fine.
everybody who tuned in for tuning in, and we're playing this Sunday night, right?
This Sunday night would be New Year's.
Oh, okay.
So, or New Year's Eve. So let's do next Sunday.
Alright.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be in no condition to play.
That's fair.
At least I
Alright.
hope not.
Well, in that case...
If all goes to plan, I won't be. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Tune in Sunday after next, guys. Whoever's still in the stream, I don't know. But thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time.